Hello there and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel this fine Monday. My name is Jedel Cabrera. I hope that you're doing well. Ready for political conversations? These conversations are simple, truthful, prof putting them across in a hard-hitting manner. How are you doing?
Wonderful.
Were you in Jacaranda yesterday?
Yes.
You went there?
Of course.
How was the mood?
That's
How's
where
the feeling?
Kenya was.
Yeah?
I must be where Kenyans are. Where history is being made.
In the podium mama na watu hapa chini.
Mimi raia nakaa kwa raia
Tulikuwa pamoja.
kwa nyazi huko.
But tell me, thousands of people trooped in. It was a mega rally from Azimio's side. Raila Odinga going there, telling Ruto that he must go home. He's ready to occupy State House. Raila says he's given the Commonwealth and the United Nations 2 weeks to come in and investigate. If not, they'll give further actions. First of all, the messaging. What do you think about the messaging from Raila, Martha Karua, Kalonzo Musyoka telling Azimio folks, we need to troop together. If you don't go to Ruto now, what did you feel about the messaging?
Yeah, like everybody I watched from the comfort of my house.
Yeah.
Cowards like us don't go there. The middle class is made up of cowards who watch on TV and fight on
Twitter.
keyboards. Yeah,
So you watch from home?
Yes, and I can see a different Raila. And they think they're trying to charge the people. They're trying to hype. They're trying to mobilize the people by charging them. Most notable was Mother Karua when she says, you are born once, you die once. Let's not be cowards. That is big,
Yeah.
And the Raila language was, I don't want to use the word reckless, but it was a Raila that has not been around this size for a while now.
Is this also part of Raila re-engineering himself? Is that what we're saying? Because you always say every election period comes and goes, but we see a different Raila. Is this also a different Raila, or is this now the Raila of the Moi era?
This is the real Raila. For the past 15 or so years, we have dealt with a camouflaged Raila, a make-believe Raila. A Raila who spent so much into creating an image that will then resonate and work well with the West, who initially had seen him as revolutionary, as a socialist, communist, pro-East, including even the dressing. So he donned now Western suits, distanced himself from that image to please the business community in this country. That's why you saw the Mount Kenya, what do you call this, billionaires,
community.
Mount Kenya Foundation, all the way, some of them from 2007, Jonjo, Joanju, and the rest of those people, and now SK Macharia, and now more, who then actually, unfortunately. So that's the Raila. He spent so much, he invested so much to be Western compliant, business compliant, but they let him at his hour of need, let him down. The Western nations, he spent so much to please. The business community, he spent so much to please, deserted him at his hour of need, when he needed them most. When the president was so close, the Americans, the British, the Europeans, the Mount Kenya Foundation, all these people abandoned him the moment he needed them most, when the president was his for the taking. So that means...
If you say that, how have you observed, where is that observation coming from?
As in?
Because you say they have...
I've written about it. Raila has been trying to shed off the image of a militant, of a revolutionary, of a person who is socialist, center-left.
I'm asking the observation that they let him down. Where does that come from? Because
it's not a secret that the Western powers supported Ruto. Which secret is that? Is it a secret?
Yeah.
It's not a secret that the Mount Kenya Foundation, these Kikuyu rich people, abandoned Raila at the last moment. What is the secret? It's obvious. It's obvious they did abandon him, just as did the deep state. All these people abandoned Raila at his hour of need.
So now you're saying he's now changing that image.
So now he's going back to the traditional, the real Raila. He spent so much, he invested so much to please these people. And just when he was there, they abandoned him.
Okay.
So now this Raila, this is the real Raila now. This is the real Raila.
What are we likely to see?
You know, did you see? You know, let me explain why there was a Raila and there is a Raila.
Yeah.
And now there's a Raila.
3 Railas.
Raila abandoned his troops. In trying to please these people, the Western society and the business community in this country, he not only shed off that image, he actually abandoned his people, his troops. The Raila of Simba 1, Simba 2 in the 90s, working with overovers. Then you know Raila is about to appear in a meeting. Those guys from Kibra, I used to have a business in Langata, and I know, and I used to operate in the slums. I know them. All these fellows, I knew them. Men in black, all of them. They know me and I know them. So he abandoned all these people to please the people who have now let him down. If you notice in the rally yesterday, do you know a man called Gaucho?
Yeah.
Gaucho spoke there, and those other guys you saw.
I saw them.
And a lot more are there now. He has gone back to the trenches. He has now reconnected with the people he had severed.
And that's why in his speech he let the young men speak.
Those are the people now. So he's now going back to the people and working with them now. That is a very deadly thing.
What are we likely to see in the near future? Because now he has given the international community 2 weeks to come into Kenya and investigate, says he has zero confidence in the DCI. First of all, is that a bad thing to bring the international community in the country for these elections? Because you've always had this reservation that we can deal with our problems in-house.
Kenya is a sovereign state. There's no way the UN or the Commonwealth can just walk here. No. How? How does the UN just walk into a country? A sovereign state that's not at war, is a constitutional government. They just can't come here. What Raila is doing is placing an impossible demand. That gives you a glimpse into his game plan. He will be a very disappointed man if an opportunity were to be forced on him to negotiate with Ruto. Ruto thinks Raila is dying for negotiations, but Raila his game plan will be distorted so much if somebody created an atmosphere for negotiations.
Then what is, I remember...
So he doesn't want negotiations. He's taken this thing and tossed it up there in the skies, where you can't reach with your head. It's not legal, it's not constitutional, it's not something you can come and negotiate over. It is something in the sky there. Kanuke, wacha kayumane, that's where he has put it. And he wants it to play it there. Because all these agencies that he fought, some of them he fought so hard to create. The judiciary, the Supreme Court, the new police, all these DCI things.
Independent
all these things were created on Raila's back. Okay? He's created so much rapport with the international community. All these things have let him down. So he's tossing the ball beyond them.
So he knows
in the skies, pop!
So as he's demanding for them to come, he knows...
No, he's making an impossible demand. UN can't just come here and settle not in 2 weeks. That 2 weeks, you tell you, is something he would not want to happen. He wouldn't want any negotiations. Raila wouldn't want any negotiations.
He says the voice
Yet
of the
Ruto
people,
thinks that's what Raila wants.
Since the voice of the people is the voice of God, saying
Correct.
It's time for the people to take charge. When you talked about Gaucho and they were saying they are ready to march to State House.
Yes.
I'm thinking then the next 2 weeks, if we don't see any action from the president trying to calm things down, what will be the situation in the country if the president continues? Because yesterday he was saying that he knows Raila, again saying that he's not ready to have a handshake, but at least giving some room for a conversation on development. Is this the kind of conversation we should be having now?
I have heard this narrative, including from people I talk to. Today I talked for 2 hours with somebody. I really talk to when I have serious discussions. And that's the thing I think Ruto has, that they know Raila. They don't know Raila. No. They just don't know him.
Okay.
Because metamorphosis, he's been trying to change to suit the times. But he's still the Raila he is. You know, they think Raila will come with the usual demonstrations and what, and you always deal with them. It's not very easy the way they think.
So you think the problem is they do not really know Raila?
They do not know. They don't know Raila. They are mistaken. They think they can handle Raila in terms of demonstrations. One, Moi and Kibaki would have handled demonstrations because one tear gas was able to disperse 10,000 people. Even those trucks, can they chase people away now? Those ones that spew bad
water.
Those things that remind us of Soweto and apartheid in South Africa. I don't know whether that's where we got them from. They used to look very ugly on Africans. Surprising we brought them here.
Yeah.
Those things will not scare anybody today. Leave alone tear gas. Even those ones, they will not scare anybody.
But I'm saying there's
Number two,
yeah.
There was always hope in this country. And I've been on NTV today and I've been telling government, intelligence, listen to Manyora, share with the president. Don't fear the president. If you are director of intelligence, don't fear the president. Tell the president the way Boynet used to tell Moi. You find a way of telling him that this thing is not what he thinks it is. Because there was always hope in this country. So Raila is mess in 2007. People go in the streets. But we come back on the table. Because there's hope, there was 2013. Then there's 2013, then William Mutunga messes, he doesn't nullify an election. If he had done that, this country would never have been the same again. Nobody would have ever stolen an election. Because people will have known this is a new Kenya. William Mutunga didn't do what he was supposed to do. He gave excuses about the document, about process and procedures and so on. So Raila knows 2027 is there. 2027 happens and same stuff happens. Fortunately, they come together with Uhuru. So Raila knows now, I can be patient, I can shake Uhuru's hand, I can help him finish his term. I'm assured of the president. Then what happened happens. Hope is lost. That's number one they must know. Very, very critical that in the absence of that hope, managing the people is not easy. And finally, with all these previous demonstrations, and I hope Ruto listens to me, Raila was always applying brakes. Always applying brakes. One, he's a statesman. Two, there's always that hope. It will be 2013, 2017, 2022. That hope has demolished. These brakes are not there. The vehicle Raila is driving to Mandamano, to this thing they are jokingly calling Mandamano. Yeah. Kina Ruto and Rigathi, Kina Ishungwa and Dindi. That vehicle has no brakes. Because that hope is not there. We've demolished that.
Is that why they're saying there will be no elections in 2027? They are ready.
The vehicle has no brakes. It doesn't have brakes. Raila, he may not like it. He may not like to hear me saying it. But he's applying the Samsonian option. You bring down the tempo.
And you go down with it.
Yes.
Where does that observation come from?
There is some recklessness associated with youth and old age. At a certain age, perhaps where Raila is, there is some recklessness you could equate to the youth. You know, youth approach these things with some recklessness. They don't even care. Do you think where Raila has reached, he can care about anything? Everybody has let him down.
So you can say
every institution has let him down. So ameenda gari akapeleka kwa mechanic akatoa brake. Kaambia twende. Wacha kanuke. This is the message I'm giving the leadership of this country.
Yeah.
You are dealing with a dangerous animal. And especially given there's not much you can do if people try to take action.
Now there are people,
nobody has ever succeeded.
In our comment section on Twitter, TikTok, they come and say, who is this Raila that Ruto cannot tame?
Let him try.
If he tries to do his kanuke,
what can you do?
Who is this Raila? That is the question that is always there.
Can you arrest him?
Can he be arrested? I think that is the question you should answer me.
If you think you are a man, try. Arrest Raila. You can arrest Manyora, you can do anything, drag him down. You try Raila. You think Uhuru was a fool?
So if you say
no, and not just Raila. Why do you think the Supreme Court allowed Ruto and Uhuru to run? In which country would they have run for elections in 2013? Which country? You try denying Uhuru that chance to run in 2013. Then you see if you have a country. It's as simple as that. The judiciary and IBC, they knew. They knew at that level of indictment that Uhuru and Ruto faced, surely, and given our new constitution, and we were implementing at the level of elections for the first time, we needed to set the record straight. These two gentlemen ought not have been allowed to run for elections, but you try stopping them. Then you see if you have Kenya. The same way, you try arresting Raila and see if you have Kenya. You may think you are tough. You try, arrest him. You will not have the country. It's as simple as that.
Or at what point then should Ruto try to have this conversation with Raila? Should he now wait to see things, what Raila will do in the next 2 weeks?
It is now. These things have a way of assuming their own life. These things Raila will pick momentum, assume a life of their own. A life of their own, and even Raila may not stop them. Remember, Raila is also surrounded by hardliners like Mada Karua. And I can, because me, I'm not Raila's confident. So I can say anything without fearing. I meet Raila, we have a cup of tea. I take dawa, he takes his dawa or whatever. But I'm not his confidant. There's nothing Raila has told me in confidence. And I'm not his advisor. But I can tell you situations like those. And this is what the intelligence ought to be hearing. If there are boys listening to me, go and tell the DG. Foreign powers can infiltrate this kind of game. Because the Chinese, for example, are not happy that they are being pushed out. If an opportunity like that arose.
And they infiltrate the country.
Yes! Yes, DG, if you are listening to me. Yes, these things happen.
I think we're trading on dangerous grounds. Maybe we should wrap it up. do have this conversation, because these are conversations that...
Mother said, you are born once.
You die once. Until we do talk again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day.